All right, so the whole thing with all this stuff is fair usage, and essentially what is happening is let's I guess we can start
Because
off
Ethan
with this
Klein's
one
too much of
here.
a sue me because he knows. How's the lawsuit going? Nowhere because Ethan Klein's too much of a sue me. Any day now, he's gonna sue. He's gonna sue. Chat, just a reminder, by the way, just a reminder. After he paraded on the internet about how he was gonna sue me and he wanted to sue me, guess what? Still no lawsuit. Oh my god.
So Ethan Klein, if you don't know, H3H3 podcast, I do believe it is, productions podcast, whatever. And so essentially he's old school YouTuber. He's been around for years now. Essentially he made a video and he was pretty much trying to figure out if Denims, Hassan, and a couple others. Again, I've kind of loosely been keeping track of all this stuff to see like is so every few years we have a group of people who are like they begin to make themselves like the top names on Twitch, and this group of people ends up kind of like they get the rules restructured because they fuck up and do stuff to where the rules get restructured because Twitch's rule set is very fluctuating. It always has been, probably always will be, unless a new CEO gets in there and says, no, here's the guidelines, here's what we're going to do. The reason why, though, the rule set on Twitch is so fluctuating is because of the fact that the people that work in the reinforcement team and such, you have like three different types of people in there. Ones that will actually reinforce the rules correctly, the basically DEI hires, the ones that are like, oh, well, we need to keep DEI alive and well on the platform. That's the reason why we still have drag shows and everything, even though if you watch the Twitch chat, there's a lot of people in the Twitch chat. But like majority of people on Twitch are like, probably not have drag shows. It's weird. Even during TwitchCon, there was last year, I think, for the US TwitchCon, there was the top drag queen, whatever that streams on Twitch. She ran out there, tried to make a spectacle during a one last final performance with Dan Clancy, and yeah, it didn't go over so well. Everybody's just like kind of like, okay, yeah, whatever, bye, and then yeah, they ran away and whatever. But then also, so you got the ones that reinforce the DEI hires, and you got the ones that know people. And the ones that know people, they're the ones that let a lot of this shit fly because, you know, like Hassan will be banned for 24 hours, even though he like is going against pretty much everything in the terms of service, like that you should not be doing. Denim's kind of the same way. Now, the thing is, if they are starting to have lawsuits happen to where creators on the platform are starting to get sued because of content like this, now this becomes a bigger deal because now it affects everyone. This is where I start to make videos and streams like this, where I am starting to look into this stuff. So the reason why I go with this is because if they're not careful, then being able to play music on stream, that might start being looked at again. Being able to say what you want to, whether it's politically or, you know, whatever on stream, that might end up changing to where it's like, oh, well, we, you know, for the betterment of the whole website overall, we got to stay away from politics. Because essentially these are all politics streamers. There's been a lot of stuff going around that maybe, you know, someone like an Asman shouldn't be talking about politics. Maybe somebody like Denims shouldn't be talking about politics. Maybe Hassan should just be off the platform because that's all he does. Outside of like the once in a blue moon gaming streams, as far as I've seen, like mostly everything that he does is like news reaction. That's pretty much just that's his bread and butter. That's what he does. So yeah, it again, I don't care if you're talking, you know, it's freedom of speech, sure. I don't care if you're talking about politics. Hell, I wouldn't even mind jumping into politics. You know, I am kind of doing it right now and everything. If you want to talk about politics, go right ahead. Share your beliefs, share your thoughts and everything. It creates a discussion. More discussion is a better thing. I'm 100% for that. Free speech, all that stuff. That's actually the reason why I like Elon. You know, Elon Musk and everything. You know, when he bought out Twitter and whatnot, you had way more freedom of discussion. Even though the Democrats and everything will complain about that and say no, hell no. they censored everything. It's like, no, they didn't. Because literally, if you posted something about COVID, you would get kicked off for, or shadow banned or whatever the hell everybody wants to use their little buzzwords around. So yeah, like just more ability to talk about everything that you want to talk about, no matter the topic or discussion or issues or whatever. Like something tonight just majorly happens of Iran getting their nuclear facilities blown up and everything, so Iran can't have nukes, which Iran is very well known for having. And the reason why I bring this actually up is because that's a lot of what these folks are talking about on Twitch and they are bringing in tens of thousands of viewership onto those channels and stirring up a lot of stuff, but also there's a fair amount of discussion being had, and hopefully there's a whole, it comes down to each individual person to make up their own mind, but hopefully there is common sense being possibly brought into, from whether whichever side you agree on, when you find that common sense there, and that's ironic that I say common sense because it's not always common, but you get it. That maybe it opens up your eyes to true facts and the truth on stuff, because at the end of the day, opinions are not as viable as true factual information. True factual information will always win an argument over the top of an opinion any day of the week. That's how debates are won. So
bitch made. I'm actually pretty certain that his lawyer told him to stop going after me. His lawyer most likely said, dude, like, you need to stop. Like, you actually need to stop. Whatever, you think I'm an idiot, you think I'm the dumbest person alive, that's fine. Go read the lawsuit. Maybe if you don't want to respect me, you can go respect a judge and a lawyer.
Oh my.
So she's getting hammered in her chat, but for being stupid, essentially. That's what you're getting off from that body language, the way she's starting to get a little bit more aggressive towards chat and everything.
My God. Can someone remind me why Ethan Klein is suing Denims but not XQC?
How many times over the years have I brought up XQC of like, maybe XQC shouldn't be on the platform because he's done so many dumbass things, especially IRL stuff in there. Is it IRL? No. That was Ice Poseidon. Sorry, he's gone. So the ones that came before, that was like another wave of people. Like, again, we have these waves that come and go off from Twitch of like the people that are doing so much drama stuff. Kai Cenat has, really, I would say he's fixed up what he's done, because he was getting in that ball camp too of like, again, this is the reason why I said like maybe Kai Cenat shouldn't even be on the platform. Oh, he's a top guy and all that stuff. Now him doing Streamer University, and there was some moments in Streamer University where I was like, ooh, because it's just the people that Kai surrounds himself with. You can tell some of them is like, that's just, there's something waiting to happen with a handful of them that guy had Streamer University. You could see of like, oh yeah, in the long run they're probably gonna do something to get themselves kicked off the platform. Yeah, anyway, so
people be so retarded.
If you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video.
Didn't somebody comment on this? This is Legal Mindset commenting on this.
Lonesome Poet says, just got here and wondering if what Ethan did is considered entrapment. Sorry, and once again, I want to explain this stuff. I'm just laughing in general. So, and that's not a thing. You're probably thinking about like police entrapment or something else different. This is not criminal. This is copyright infringements.
I mean, armchair rant. Oh yeah, it's entrapment. That's all that is.
So no, there's no such thing in the law. It's enforcing your right. And I use the example once again of the house. It's like putting an alarm on your house. Is that trapping the burglar? No.
What? Oh, no.
Denims compares stealing from a corporation to stealing from Ethan Klein.
You check your bank account and like Chase accidentally refunded you an extra $50.
Okay.
If some old lady on the street is like, hey, do you have change for a $10 bill? And she hands you a $50 bill and you keep the 50. See how one of those feels morally worse? One of those feels like you're stealing from someone who does need it, or you're stealing from, I don't know, not a corporation.
Well, it's a good thing the way that you feel about something.
The anti-capitalist mindset, even though she is on a website that is literally like, she makes She makes her money off from capitalism by monetizing her content and then trying to steal also money out of somebody else's pocket very capitalistically. And essentially, she's also trying to monopolize the viewership over to her side, doing this on the fact that she's trying to actually take business away from another channel. Essentially, which would pretty much bankrupt that other channel. So then the bubble of everything is just her and her buddies. So wouldn't that be almost in a sense? I mean, it maybe a little bit loosely, but in a sense that would be almost like monopolying the just chatting space into their bubble of people, because then they run monopoly on the viewership pretty much. Well, don't watch their channel. Come watch our channel. I mean, that's very capitalistic right there. That's like one of the bad parts of capitalism, 100%. But also, capitalism is a very good thing because that's how essentially the American dream happens, which she is also living by using this website. And what is she, from LA or some shit? Of course.
Thing isn't the way the law is. Well, I feel differently about this. It's okay when I do it.
We're not talking about legality. It's theft regardless. We're talking about what is morally worse. It's theft regardless.
You can tell she doesn't have a lawyer.
She just
It's theft
contradicted
regardless.
herself.
Oh, jeez.
Hardcore contradiction.
Because he thinks
Okay.
Oh, suing these creators. Uh-oh. So he's suing Denims, Frogan, and Caseytron.
It's not that I wanted these people to steal my video. It's that I knew they would. I knew they would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary, react to it instantly. I, Ethan Klein, have registered Hassan Piker Content Nuke with the United States Library of Congress.
Oh.
Some of you guys out there sweating. Purpose of this is not financial gain. People like XQC and Asmongold may have watched the entire thing, but I would never sue them just for doing that. I don't want
Thank you, Ethan. We love you.
I don't want to chill the reaction community into fear. Actually, the opposite. I hope that we can all unite against this type of egregious behavior that could destroy the
And then she gets up and walks away from her computer. Apparently, Hassan does the same thing for multiple videos, multiple streams, like a full month straight. He was like, I'm going to go pee. And then he gets up and he's gone for like extended amount of time. I don't care if you're getting up out of your seat, going to, grab a snack, grab a drink, go to the bathroom or whatever. That's a BRB screen moment. That's one of these moments. Old VOD shows up and, okay, I'm going to be back. Here's some old clips. You can check out the history of the channel and all that stuff. That's what it should be. Whether you're doing reaction videos, IRL videos, gaming stuff, streams, I should say, no matter what type of stream you're doing, if you get up and you're AFK, that's, that's 100% a BRB screen.
commentary community as we know it.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow.
Why do you do this? Bro, I react to videos all the time. Why are you messing this up for me? God damn it. Everything was going great. Shit.
Oh,
Again, that's almost like monopolizing the viewership of like, no, do not watch this other person. Come watch me. In a way, it is.
subscribe, throw a prompt.
I think in her brain, though, because it's, you got to think like the leftist liberal brain, it's like canceling Ethan by not giving him any viewership so he goes bankrupt. The problem is with that is I bet you he has assets and other things outside of just viewership. So literally, and on top of that too, it's like how many people would have already watched the video and then go over to her to see her reaction? So is the monopoly even working of what all she's doing is digging herself into a hole at that point?
Prime.
These creators feel comfortable looking right into a camera and saying outright, hey, I'm stealing this guy's content.
Is that, oh my God, is that, is that I think some of us know who that is. Elon Musk's baby mama. I think. I don't know.
Pay me instead of him. This is not a healthy environment.
Why would you do?
Or is that his wife? It could be Ethan's wife also. It kind of looks like Ashley St. Clair. I'm not sure. Anyways.
Why would they do this? Why would you do this? Like whenever you're not even there and the video's playing, that's not a react, bro. Like
No,
you
that's not transformative.
could say react area is a gray area. You're doing it on purpose. Yes, stated.
React area is not even a gray area, which actually that's the reason why I want to bring up the Andrew Wilson video, because he actually, if you don't believe me, he actually explains it pretty good too.
Malicious intent. Stated malicious intent.
If you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, subscribe, throw a prime.
Denim's already started the GoFundMe, so she has raised $500.
Oh joy! Wait, how much? 100,000. So she raised 1% of the money to do a defense fund, but I thought Ethan wasn't actually suing her because of the fact that her chat. You guys shouldn't be doing that, okay? That's the oldest thing in the book. Show boob. Come on now. You can Twitch chat. You're better than that.
So she has raised
You only say show booba if it's in a game, okay? You don't do it to actual female streamers. Jeez. I don't care who it is. Only if it's a game character that you can mod.
$500. Well, she could have done the bare minimum and skated through easily. Yes. I think also, and this is a component that Ethan knows, but it's probably a card that he's not really willing to play. So I can just probably tell you that it's in his hand. If these people are using their Twitch platform explicitly to break the law, and there's a legal precedent that they broke the law, he can lobby for Twitch to have them banned, because
that's best case scenario. That Twitch actually has to comply by law to have people banned, which in all honesty, if that starts up, Hassan is fucking gone. And I wouldn't, if they're like even more so than the stuff that I was seeing with Kai. The reason why I called Kai out on his stuff is because he's pretty much like the top guy on Twitch, and you see his face being plastered everywhere. And so it's just like, Kai, come on, don't be causing ruckus in New York. Don't be lighting off fireworks, that could possibly burn down your house and all. It's like, be a little bit, it's just, you have a lot of people watching you. And that was always my message on that. And I hope that was clear over the years. Like, it wasn't personal against Kai so much, it was more or less like, hey, like, come on. And the cool thing is that I think there's enough of us that said that Kai actually I don't know if he just he grew up or he's had enough, moments in that space. It seems like Kai, though, he does have, now that after Streaming University and actually hear it, because Kai is so performative on stream, it's hard to get a block on, like, is he just acting like a 12-year-old the whole time, wherever he goes? Or, at Streaming University, he was actually, there was, he was trying to keep people in line, keep people in check. I was just like, all right, that's a lot more respect for him there. That's cool. So you have Kai up here and pretty much like, I think it's Asmongold and then Hassan and the rest of them, right? Like, because Asmongold, I think, is like the top, right leaning, we'll say, content creator out there. He is, and he is definitely one of the top political commentators on the platform, which I think he is bigger than Hassan on the numbers stat sheet, which makes Hassan get a little bit butthurt and everything. And the funny thing is too, is like, I've been a pretty big fan of OTK, of what I've seen over the last few months of everything that, they're handling different situations pretty good. There's a lot of good personalities there. They're gamer nerds that are doing IRL stuff. But at the end of the day, they come back and they start gaming. So it's cool. It's like there's a lot of good fun times, laughs, and everything else. And guess who is a friend with some of them in OTK? It's Hassan. Funny enough, though, one of the guys who started OTK is Asmongold. So yeah, it's like just you get little bits and pieces of both sides. And also, I think Denims doesn't know anybody there, but Denims knows Hassan, so it's like friend of a friend thing. there. And again, this might seem like Twitch drama and everything, but again, if there's legal ramifications coming from a YouTuber that's been around for a long time who probably has a pretty decent bank account that can actually make a pretty big lawsuit happen, then that could be ramifications for us all when it comes to the rule set of what, can we even react to stuff on stream anymore? Can we even watch a YouTube video on stream anymore? The worst possible case scenario is that all this stuff goes in that direction, where the YouTubers actually win over top of the Twitch streamers, because YouTube is bigger than Twitch. It is. It still is. Like, after all these years, 10 years of Twitch, and yeah, YouTube is still, like, YouTube is like 20 years old. So there is still a bigger viewer base over on the YouTube side of things. Again, I don't want to see the ramification of all this stuff be that all of a sudden we can't do reaction videos to a fucking game trailer or something in the future. That would suck. That would really suck. All of a sudden there's just a rule set saying like no YouTube videos on Twitch at all. Majority of people would hate that, but that's the reason why you got to pay attention to what is going on with this stuff. At that point, I think everybody would just call for no politics on Twitch, and Twitch would go right back over to being like a fully creative platform instead of any politics whatsoever. Because politics and religion, they're both opinion things. Like, religion is an opinion, same way as politics is an opinion. Who's a better politician? What's the better religion? All that stuff. That's the reason why for majority of Twitch's time, politics and religion mostly was kept off the website, because there's so many different opinions on everything. The gaming space is like, I like this, I like that, this sucks, screw you, that I like it. It's a I like, I don't like type of thing. But when it comes to politics and religion, it's like, well, here's the good of the world, and no, I think this is better for the world, but I think this is better for the world. Again, this is where capitalism is so much better than any other thing, because it's essentially we're just arguing about capitalistic takes of what sells better and what performs better for entertainment masses.
There is a verified court case that they used this account and this service to break the law.
43,000 people. That is a giant channel on Twitch.
That's the piece of the puzzle I don't think he's really talking about. Yeah, you want to talk about React? Can I stream the trial?
So let me bring in a third party. So this guy Andrew Wilson does not stream on Twitch. He is technically like a third party. He's talked to some of the Twitch streamers that are political Twitch streamers. I think he has kind of a bad taste in his mouth around Twitch, but he sees, the good of it when it comes to like gaming and stuff, because he's also a gamer and whatnot. You might have seen him from whatever podcast clips and everything where, think of whatever you want to of Andrew, but it's a good take on this.
It's a big conversation called ReactGate. ReactGate.
Ethan Klein always looks hungover, by the way. He just always looks perpetually like he's hungover. Like he's just having a miserable day every day. That's what he always looks like to me. EEAP did a huge deep dive on all the blatant content theft on Twitch, where they dive into Hassan before he became, yeah. Oh, I mean, it's blatant. It's beyond blatant. And he makes a compelling case here.
It was a debate going on in the streaming community about what constituted fair use. People like Hassan, XQC, and many of the large Twitch streamers would watch other creators' entire video on their stream. They would rarely add sufficient commentary or even pause the video to speak. Most egregiously, they would re-upload the entire VOD to YouTube with the same thumbnail, the same title, so that they could cannibalize traffic from the original video.
Yeah, so, and I've seen this. This has happened many, many, many times. They'll even upload the very same thumbnails, the same everything, in order to capitalize on the name. But in this case, what Klein's about to do is make a case for how this is actually worse. This is malicious. That a lot of these people are actually re-uploading it in order to take views away from your channel, in order to prevent people from going to your channel for your content.
Which essentially, that's double theft right there. That's stealing two different things from the YouTube channels, other than making it something where it's like you're adding something to it. It's just like, come on, guys. And this has always been the biggest like between the Greek god Ice Poseidon. God, I'm trying to remember like that whole group that was on here. What was the there was the other guy also, like, you know, they're all gone now because they did so much dumb shit. Andy Milonakis was kind of mixed in with that too, although I think he got himself out of that whole bubble of people, where there was just a lot of bad stuff going down and around all that. And then we had the OF girls come on with all their hot tub streams and whatnot, and that was kind of like, you know, why would you want to watch somebody gaming when you can watch somebody shaking their ass in a hot tub? That got taken care of. And now it's political streamers that are, you know, making a mockery of Twitch essentially. And that's more or less what they're doing is, you know, it's like, get up and walk away and leave a video playing for people to watch. Come on. That's just making a mockery of the platform of like, oh yeah, we're just that lazy. Like we don't do anything on this platform other than just be lazy and let somebody else's content run in the background while we get up and just grab a snack. That again, if the midstream snack break that I do, it's a BRB screen every single time. If I'm in the middle of, you know, if I'm watching some full video on YouTube, it's more or less like either something that's informal like this to let everybody know of like, hey, you know, this kind of messed up, or it's like Death Stranding cutscenes, and we're trying to catch up on the storyline of that
content, and then they make money off of it. And that, I think, is a very compelling case that he's about to bring to court. Let's take a look.
Here's what Lamino had to say about this phenomenon.
I don't mind people reacting to my videos, but I do mind when they play the entirety of my video. A face cam in the corner or the occasional interruption does nothing to address that issue. My video is still being played from beginning to end in someone else's stream or video. It's neither ethical nor necessary to feature the entirety of someone else's work. Or, you know, they could do the bare minimum.
Now, in this case, I kind of think that the intent of this from Ethan is that he kind of wants content creators to feature this work. Like that's the, I don't know, like my gut tells me here he kind of wants people to cover this.
I can see where he's coming from with that point, because then it's like the more if people think it's wrong, then they're going to go to Ethan's channel and they're going to be like, yeah, I stand with you, Ethan. It's going to be that, you know, like I picked this person, I picked that person. It's always that way with that's just human nature of, you know, I like this thing, I like that thing, or I agree with this thing, I agree with that thing. That's a better way of putting it. But of course, Ethan is farming out viewership. Everybody farms out viewership. That's the way all this stuff works. So yeah, like I agree with Andrew on that point.
He goes over how he doesn't actually have any problems, so you'll see in the video, with people reacting to his content, which I think is fair, you know, people, and that's fair use anyway. But rather, he's just tired of the blatant theft, which I kind of understand. I've been considering making a Clips channel. If I put a link to the Crucible on all of them, would that be okay? Well, again, if you want the details to that, Mr. Enigmatic can assist you with that.
And ask for permission. Something that none of the major reaction channels have ever done when they've streamed or re-uploaded my videos. But to answer your question, no, I don't want people to stream or re-upload the entirety of my videos.
Now, understandably, this made a lot of people angry, because why should these content thieves essentially...
Yes, that's right. Yes. Destiny is another one that's... Destiny isn't... He got kicked out from Twitch pretty quickly because he had some very, very radical hot takes on different political things and whatnot. And it was actually... It is kind of weird that Hassan gets to stay on Twitch because he knows people, and Destiny, who didn't really know anybody, he just got eliminated off of Twitch real quick. Again, it's
get more views than the author of the video, which in a lot of cases was happening,
and still is. In many cases, you'll see clips of me, which are uploaded all over the internet. All over the internet, where they actually get more views than our clips do here, which is it's and with no commentary, it's not nothing. They just out.
If there's no commentary, it's just literally just take the video, rip it off from YouTube using a third-party app or something, and then upload it as like, this video is bullshit. Blah, 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 blah. That's just. That's fucking snake-like. I think we should have react videos though, because it keeps a lot of people in check. Of reaction videos, in my opinion, keeps the internet from being a total echo chamber. You can have you get without somebody sitting down, because Andrew he's a professional debater, and that's his whole thing. He'll sit down and debate you for an hour straight, 2 hours, 3 hours. He does it on whatever podcast. He's flown out to New Jersey, I think it was, to a convention over there. He loves to debate with people. He loves to use the rules of debate and do it professional style, not just back and forth. So again, I think that's even for Andrew. I think reaction videos are a very good thing to have, because it will keep, because anybody can get stuck in their bubble chamber or echo chamber, their bubble of echo chamber. It's like, oh, well, I am 100% saying everything correct because of, I don't have any other opinions coming at me, or I don't have any other way of looking at it, and everybody agrees with me. So I am 100% correct all the time. People can get stuck in that mindset. So I think reaction videos in that way is a very good thing to have, just to balance out the opinion versus fact type of, debate on things.
Right, steal from you. Outright steal it. I saw that Spurg, for instance, the Panelverse was here earlier. He's a notorious thief. He steals from me constantly. Just outright theft. Well, enough of that, dude. That's all done. Like we actually got a hold of a YouTube rep to put an end to a lot of that. So a lot of you who've been stealing my
and this is kind of what we need on Twitch, is maybe like a cross-platform rep. Not even just a Twitch rep, but just like a cross-platform rep that, like the band department, and this is the problem with Twitch's band department. YouTube department too is not exactly that much better either, by the way. Like YouTube has the same fucking problem over there too. They have like some DEI hires that will keep people on the YouTube that is like, they are just spreading just absolute fake information, the whole 9 yard, all that stuff. And again, as soon as you say fake information, then 10 different hands point 10 different ways on different sides of every single argument and everything. It's not even a fact checker thing that we need. It's just like, okay, if somebody makes a video, you can't outright just, or a stream even, you can't just take that and just steal it and put it on your channel with nothing of conformative, there's no conformative content to it at all. That should never be able to fly, because it's against the law. It's not fair use at that point.
That's not.
So in that regard, do you care at all about like IP or copyright, or like
did Ethan go through like a health scare or something? Because he looks way more healthy in this shot than the first shot.
No, it doesn't matter, like IP or copyright.
And again, XQC being one of the top names on Twitch a lot, and now I think XQC though, hasn't he like either moved to Kick, or he streams a lot more on Kick or something? I never keep tabs on XQC because I can't even understand what the fuck he's saying half the time. I think everybody, that's kind of the meme around him.
Right. Or like the fact that it's illegal, does that matter? That it might be illegal, does that matter to you?
No.
It doesn't matter.
Well, if flat out doesn't, because
well, that's fair.
Watch me full screen cam.
Yeah, and again, I think it's totally fine if you put up long form content that I've done and you're reacting to it. Maybe you have agreements or disagreements or things like that. That's fine. Yeah. Leftists do this to me all the time. I wouldn't even care about that. That's totally fair game. Yeah. These thieves, they just re-upload it. They'll change 2 colors and think that somehow is going to avoid that somehow avoids the fact that you're stealing. It's like you did just blatant thievery.
Do the worm and watch your prime. Then watch your prime content.
Do it for a week. Do a week of no reaction content and see how many views you get. Oh, okay, sure. I mean, that's content, man. It's original content, at least.
The ultimate debate bro. He hit him with the worm. Oh, why didn't I think of that first? I kid XQC, but he is not the one I'm suing. Despite my criticism, he's not a malicious infringer. But the ones I am suing, you'll see, are much, much worse. Now, ironically, after this debate and in the wake of this large conversation, the problem seems to have only gotten worse.
It's very Twitch culture, too. It's like, we're having a serious discussion. Worm! Like, that's the reason why we all love Twitch, of when it's not... everything is not taken so serious, because on YouTube feels like a business where Twitch feels like a hangout. It always has been. That's what Twitch was made for. It's just like you're hanging out with your buddies, playing games, talking, shooting the shit, and everything. So it makes kind of sense why some of these top guys would be just out. It's like throwing on a movie and then walking out of the room and going making yourself a snack, and then 20 minutes later come in, I'm watching the movie again. But it's not right. That is still okay. If you re-upload that as a react again, yeah. Oops.
Worse, you have people like Hassan Piker paving the way of fair use with what's known as chair reacts, when Hassan gets up to go to the bathroom or to eat or to talk to his mom.
Mr. E says it's called content. You have to be adding to it in terms of content. Well, and let me explain too. The Crucible employs clippers. Those guys' salary depends on the views on our own clips. So you're basically stealing from our, you're stealing from them, essentially. You're literally stealing from them. So there's a proper way that you can do that where you can use the content, and we're fine with that. But like the outright theft, just like Klein here, but like everybody's just kind of had it with that.
Keep catching beard on the microphone and it just tickles.
The kind of free range outright, just being able to steal what you want for whatever purpose you want. I think that era is ending.
Mom, or to do whatever.
And it should end. And honestly, it should end, because it's not. Content creation should take a skill. It shouldn't just be this like, I'm just going to sit in front, even the skill of entertaining people, of being funny, or actually, having some knowledge and stuff like that's still a skill set. You're knowledgeable about something. If Hassan is just sitting there acting like he knows something, I mean, that acting like you know something, that can be a skill set too. Being the biggest dummy in the room, and making it sound like you know something, that's a snake oil skill. But again, just getting up and leaving, there's no skill in that. That's just
appears for an extended period of time and leaves the video playing for his chair. Mr. Chair, they call it.
IDF had warned people to leave the area around the main airport in Sana. Then
So then if somebody just knows a Twitch of like, oh yeah, Hassan streams on that website. This is the reason why I think it's really good that Kai is more known and associated with Twitch than Hassan, because at least Kai, he is always doing something. Like, even if he is blowing up his house, which I don't agree with that either. There shouldn't be any fireworks or guns or anything like that ever in anybody's live stream, unless it's like outside and you're not. There's a lot of people who are like, I want to try that on stream myself. I can make money, and then they will try and blow up their fucking house. That's why I say don't do that on stream. But yeah, if Hassan, if you only know of Twitch through Hassan like this, then you think this is all Twitch is. It's just lazy people with no skill getting up and walking away while a live stream or a video or something is playing in the background. That's what we don't want Twitch to be associated with. That's the farthest thing from what Twitch is overall, because overall the community on Twitch is very creative. We all have a lot of different skill sets. We are all a very big community of just like, I want to see cool shit happening, so let's do it. Let's make basically a TV show out of it.
So he just gets up and he walks away and he lets other people's video play. He lets other people's video play.
There's also a rule in the TOS that says if you're away from your stream for more than like such and such amount of time, that it's really against the rules, especially if you're affiliates or a partner or whatever. He's most like, I'm pretty sure he's partner, right? Yeah, if you're away and you're just letting, like if you have just cutscenes from a game playing or something in the background, I'm pretty sure it's against TOS unless they changed it. It always was, where it's like you can only be away from stream for so long. It could, if you have a BRB screen going, that's a different story, because it's like, oh, like there was one time I had the whole nest of ants, in a bathroom closet I had to deal with. So I had to go on BRB screen for like an hour to deal with that. You know, I could have just ended the stream, but I'm like, after I get done with this, I'm coming back for another 2 hours to make up for it. And I think I went for 3 hours actually to make up for that hour that I was on BRB. So yeah.
We're community. Well, I've been seeing especially
and that actually pisses me off seeing that, because it just makes everybody that streams on the platform look bad. And yes, I came back to Twitch because there's so many rules and regulations of DMCA shit that happens over on YouTube, and I don't want to see that happen to Twitch. That's and then also Twitch, like them allowing us to do, you know, the multi-encoding and all that stuff. Like it's better to stream on Twitch overall because you have way more looseness of ability to do stuff, but you shouldn't be also exploiting the rules to do that, where it's just like, oh, I'm just going to get up and walk away. No, that's bullshit. Like, if he's done that for like a month straight and just having other people's content on his stream, he should be kicked. Like that alone should get him taken off the platform. Him inciting stuff, like, because he's also stuck up for terrorists and shit. So that alone, easily, there people have been banned for way less. And I think this is, again, to a majority of people have said this about Hassan, that he should be gone from the platform, and Twitch does absolutely nothing because they just know him. He knows people that it can unban him.
This setting that I formulated,
it's probably the biggest problem at Twitch.
An idea. What if I could make a long-form, irresistible piece of content?
Okay. Yes.
Now, I don't even have a leg to stand on. It's not unethical, and on top of it, no. I don't care about I don't even care if people clip me. If they're doing legitimate transformative content, now I don't even have a leg to stand on. It's not unethical, and on top of it not being unethical, it's not criminal or illegal in any way. If it's good, you know, that's the good stuff. It's when people take your content long form and just post it to their channel and then monetize it. That's thievery, literal thievery,
Mm-hmm. That I knew that these streamers couldn't resist. They couldn't avoid the temptation of watching it the second it was published.
I don't have an issue with them.
What if they clip it onto TikTok and then pay Andy his Canadian grift tariff? See, now you're speaking my language. That's brilliant. What's brilliant is when people do that, when they're like, hey, yeah, exactly. Mystery says we encourage content. Of course, if somebody was like, hey, man, you know, I'm putting your clips out and they're making a bunch of cash and here's a cut for you. Great. That's a whole different ballgame.
More money for
that
everyone.
ain't what's going on.
It's not that I wanted these people to steal my video. It's that I knew they would. I knew they would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary, react to it instantly, giving them no time to form an opinion. The trap was set, and it worked even.
They're all women. I mean, I'm just saying. Like all the women streamers I watch, they're all gamers, or they're out IRL doing challenges, and they're checking out restaurants. They're going back home, and like the Switch 2 shit that was going on, and everybody was duped into buying one of those and all that shit. And it's like that was good content. Of like, okay, yeah, the Switch 2. There's a little bit of people that are like woo about it, and then they bought one game, Mario Kart, and everybody's just like, what else do we do? Again, like that's like. I think there's about 3 or 4 women on Twitch that I watch on the regular, and they all did like a Switch 2 launch, thing, or at least within that like first couple of days when the Switch came out, because everybody gets their console at a different time, but it was like a launch stream of all of it and everything, and community nights and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, cool. That's what Twitch was made for. That's the best part of Twitch is when, all that stuff. I can't stand Nintendo anymore. Fucking hate Nintendo. I think that Switch 2 is the biggest piece of shit. Like, Xbox also is going to be, if they come out with another Xbox, it's going to be just the most, like, why console ever. Switch 2 is just like, that's just regular Nintendo not putting anything out. Sorry, I'm getting off track. Anyways.
Better than I imagined it would.
And this is actually diabolical. This trap that he set was diabolical. Listen to how he explains it. And instantly I was like, yes. So finally somebody's doing something about that. Will you have any specific clip rules that have to do? No. In fact, I would like for you to make those clips.
We captured pretty much every large streamer reacting to it in its entirety immediately after it was published. Now, the thing is, there were a few people that went above and beyond to commit copyright infringement. For example, Denim sits here silently with nearly 50,000 live viewers. That's 30 times her regular viewership. She's working directly with the Snark subreddit moderators to siphon views, and their intentions couldn't be clearer.
Is it real views, though, or is it bots? Because now when you bring in Reddit into this of like, hey, let's set something up to where she has, way more viewership that sends her up the list of everyone else who is streaming in the Just Chatting category. And because, like the more viewership you have, that's basically like the biggest death sentence you can have on Twitch is you lose your viewership and you get dragged down underneath everyone else that is streaming. Talking about the BRB screen. Hold on a second, because of course I get dragged away just when we're trying to check something out that's important here. All right, so where were we at with
30 times her regular view.
Oh yes,
and
so the Reddit thing. Yeah, I think I just said that before I got up and walked away. But yeah, it seems like it could have been she might. There's a possibility she could have maybe botted viewership just to try and we're gonna knock this point across that Ethan Klein video is
Intentions couldn't be clearer.
So what he's outlining here is a conspiracy to maliciously hurt his business, and it's true. That's exactly what's happening. So here's the malicious conspiracy.
Casey Tron. Like, I know the name Casey Tron, but I don't know. Who the fuck is Casey Tron? It's that's okay. Oh, okay. Like, I know the name, but I don't know the face of. So Casey Tron, I do believe used to be a Twitch streamer also. Or either that or she streamed on YouTube maybe or something. I forget exactly. Wasn't it like a gamer or something? Who the fuck is it?
Yes, I did like that tweet. It says, thankfully, XQC's lifestyle hasn't led directly to the death of one of his parents yet. So he has that going for him over Asmon at least. I'll admit, I did like that tweet. And I have a lack of respect for Asmongold after letting his mom with COPD live in those sort of conditions. I'm sorry. Like, you're a millionaire. You have all of the resources in the world. Why is your sick mother living like that?
Gotcha. Okay. When he's already came out on record and say that his mother didn't want to move into a new house or anything, and his mother basically wanted to keep the place the way it was, and the only thing we really have to go off from is what Asmon is saying, because his mother was not in the spotlight at all. So that's what you have to go by. Okay.
The malicious conspiracy is that this chick Denims, who by the way my wife has just completely destroyed before, is pretty funny.
That's right. But I need to watch that debate. I'd be very curious to see what Rachel Wilson versus Denims looks like. That'd be very funny to see the back and forth on that. I wonder what they debated. Probably feminism or something, because his wife literally wrote the book, Occult Feminism. Wrote the book on like how feminism is a bad thing, and it kind of destroys. Yeah, she wrote the book in a religious, from kind of a religious viewpoint, but I think there is still some overall, because again, I'm not religious whatsoever at all, yeah, just there's some good points to be had.
But what happened is these Redditors worked hand in hand with these specific content creators in order to take views away and money away from Ethan Klein's content, which he.
So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's the top 10 of Twitch almost, that you could literally, if they were view botting or whatever, you could fill up the first 2 rows of the browsing page of Twitch with these Twitch streamers, and it would push everybody else that is maybe talking about something outside of the politics and everything. It would push them down to where you actually have to scroll down, and that's a big thing. If you have to scroll down to find somebody, anybody who is just looking for something to watch and who doesn't really follow a lot of people, which I'm thinking there's less people that doing that now, but that used to be a big thing. Yeah, again, because the discoverability on Twitch is literally just that. Like, unless you have a good amount of viewership by promoting yourself outside of Twitch, your discoverability on Twitch is absolutely dog shit. It always has been. Hopefully it won't always be, but yeah, Twitch that's the worst thing. YouTube is so much easier because of the fact that you just have, everything is pre-recorded. If you're a live streamer on Twitch, you make videos that people are going to find the video, and then they're going to find your live stream afterwards. That's just the way it works. So discoverability is a hell of a lot better. That's the reason why my numbers on Twitch are still kind of, 3-4 times bigger than my numbers on Twitch, just because of that. YouTube is just, it's way easier to play the algorithm to get the discoverability.
He owned in order to fill their own pockets and hurt his business on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he's outlining here.
Here's an excerpt from a stickied post from the Snark subreddit. Hey everyone, we've seen a lot of comments about wanting to watch the nuke without showing support for H3.
Yes. So, hey everyone, seen a lot of the comments. We want to watch the nuke without supporting H3, meaning we want to watch what he puts out, but we don't want him to be able to get any benefit from viewing the stuff that he owns. Talk about a malicious conspiracy.
So this right here is actually one of the main reasons why I was like, you know what? I am actually going to put this on my live stream, and I am going to do a full-on live react on this, because this is 100% the ass opposite of what Twitch streamers normally do. Normally, Twitch streamers will react to somebody else's content, like clips or something, off from their live streams or off from somebody else's video, in order to have a react, so then that can be clipped and be sent over to the other content creator so they can do a collab together. So there is actually like, you build all channels up. And that's the reason why the stream together feature was made for Twitch, which is that is not a thing on YouTube, because of the fact of, like, it's basically part of networking. Like, I'm going to do a really cool and be, not cool, but a funny react to somebody's clip that is also a funny clip. And then I noticed this as soon as I started watching IRL streamers more. They'll sit there in the first part of stream, they'll sit there for like an hour shooting the shit, and then they spend like 20-30 minutes watching other people's clips of highlight reel stuff, and then they have a reaction to it, and then they'll try and hit it. If they know the person that they're reacting to, they'll give them a call and be like, hey, I saw this on the clip, so what were you saying there? You're kind of throwing shots or whatever, and it becomes this like hee ha ha funny moments, and everybody, it gets that original clip some views. It makes a partnership, collaboration, whatever happen there, and then all of a sudden, few days on down the line, or maybe a month later or something, then they end up doing a collab stream together, and then that viewership comes over to this viewership, and so everybody is just, it's a form of networking, and Twitch is a lot of networking. What I would actually love to be able to try and do is try and get instead of network, because I just suck at networking. I'm so fucking introverted myself that I would more or less like to, try and get some viewership by just promoting on other platforms. But again, this is blatantly against even Twitch culture. And when you start going against Twitch culture, then people are going to start really looking at you like,
Several creators have mentioned they plan to stream their reactions or post reaction videos in the coming days. So the whole idea here is take views away from this guy so that we can fill our wallets off of his name and off of his content.
Now, another thing that they're essentially doing too is, I guarantee you, as soon as they make a big enough bank from Twitch, they're going to jump ship at some point. So they're building up their numbers right now. They're trying to get as much actual real viewership. So even if they bought themselves some viewership, they have bought viewership spoofed numbers, I guess is the better way. Because if I say bot viewership, everybody's probably thinking they're buying the view counter. Essentially, that's also true. But what I'm saying is like it's literally like bots sitting there, like like NPC bots sitting there watching the stream. I don't know how else to say it, and it's not real viewership. Even though her chat is going because she has just enough people to keep the chat rolling. If you have 10 people in chat, you can keep that chat rolling. Even 100 viewers out of that 40,000 that she has sitting there. If 100 people are sitting there watching, you have a pretty solid chat, rolling right there. And again, you can spoof and be like one of the top people on Twitch with doing that. I'm not saying she is doing that. What I'm saying is there's a very good chance that a lot of these people are doing that. Because where I'm getting that from is other people who actually have 20,000 people watching. They have called this shit out before, and they're like, Streaming University was actually one of them that called that stuff out too. Which again, when they were making jokes and because there was a couple times where Kai made a joke about that, I'm like, okay, that's good, calling that stuff out, because fake viewership is not good viewership, not for Twitch, because bots make you money, but what grows the platform overall is a community, because then you start getting extra subs, you get gift subs, you have the bits and everything else. Bots ain't going to be doing that stuff.
Using malicious,
as far as I know, anyways.
Thievery. I thought no, of course not, Mister. In fact, I've literally, man, that's a long story.
Citing our post in their critique of H3. Here they're offering these streamers as market substitutes for my work.
Yeah, so they're saying go watch this here instead, so that Ethan Klein doesn't make any of the money from his content. Dude, that's so dirty. You're right. Andrew Shapiro says that's dirty. It is dirty. It's dirty.
This is going to be the next wave of these assholes that go bye-bye off from Twitch after Twitch makes their bank offer them also, because that's the other thing too. Twitch will 100% use these people, make the ad rev share for the website, and then they will start going like, okay, they'll have a talk with it, because why do you think Ice Poseidon, Greek God, and Andy Minok is pretty much, I don't think Andy streams anymore, but that was three big names. I have like a crew of them that they all of a sudden they just disappeared. There was also something. What the hell was that? The bald guy there. The fuck. And then he got caught in the airport and whatnot. Like you guys know who I'm talking about, but it's, yeah, like he went away also, and he was part of that crew. So it's like all of a sudden you'll just start seeing them just all gone.
Dirty pool.
This is the cardinal sin of copyright infringement. The Snark subreddit has been a frequent and persistent infringer. That's how I knew when this video came out, the Snarkers were going to encourage, promote, and put.
It's like right out in the middle of public too. Like that's the craziest part is they're going right out in the middle of public and they're being like, hey, we're going to do this thing. We're going to fuck this other content creator over. Ha ha.
Push streamers to commit copyright infringement. I should thank the Snarkers actually. Because of their predictability, they acted like double agents for us, incriminating their favorite streamers and serving them up on a golden platter. So thank you, Snark.
This guy over on the R side, Bones, he's like, this America, we should be able to loot your just like we loot those in LA. There has to be law and order, Bones. Law and order.
It's one thing for a subreddit to admit it's engaging in copyright infringement, but how do you get the streamers themselves to admit that they're stealing content?
Oh boy, this is wild. Strap yourself in for this.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime. If you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here.
So Denims blatantly says here, if you enjoyed the fact that I stole this guy, played it, and then you didn't have to actually deal with him, great. That's fantastic.
It turns out they just do it for you. You couldn't cook up a more incriminating statement if you tried. Denims, the queen of self-owning, you prevail again. There's one thing about copyright you should know is that you got to register it before you publish to be eligible for statutory damages and attorney's fees, which is
You have to register it before everyone else takes it. Interestingly enough, I just had this conversation a week ago, and perhaps the Crucible can spring its own trap.
The main biting force of a copyright infringement lawsuit. Well, I'm happy to tell you guys now. I, Ethan Klein, have registered Hassan Piker Content Nuke with the United States Library of Congress.
Whew. Brutality. How can the average person stay informed about politics with so much noise and limited time? It feels almost impossible to keep up, especially when so many speak confidently without knowing the facts.
That's a golden question.
There's no tried and true way for you to sift through all of the that's out there.
I think the best way you can do it, because, I mean, you can have True Social, you can have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the whole 9 yards. You can have all of it. Rumble, YouTube, Twitch, they all have politics on it. All of them have 100 different opinions. That's politics, though. That's the way the world is. That's the way the world works. You're always going to have a million different directions in which way that the country should be going, and and what I think is going to work and what I think is not going to work, and all. You're always going to have all that stuff. As people who vote, I think myself, the way I would look at it is like, so why am I, why was I such a Trump supporter during the election? Because when I was looking at all the information on the table, what made the most sense was the policy that Trump was trying to enforce. Whether or not there was a lot of people who are like, oh, well, it's so inhumane and all that stuff. It's like, yes, but what sometimes inhumane of like shutting down a border and, oh my God, people can't break the law and come over here illegally and all that stuff. Sometimes that will actually save the population over the top of, okay, let's just replace the population with everybody that is, from a different country. Then what country do you have left at that point? And so that's why I was just like, well, yeah, Trump seems to be the best option there. When it comes to this stuff, with all the information that I know of and I see and everything, again, I don't watch any, I watch enough streams already. I don't have time enough for political streams a lot of times. So I am kind of on the outside looking in on this. I think the best course of action for this would be, in all honesty, overall, and I really hate to say this because it goes against like freedom of speech and everything, but the platform of Twitch was made for gaming. So I think I am kind of in that boat of like, let's just get politics off from Twitch, because people are, not only does it cause a rift in the whole Twitch side of things, where all of a sudden now it's like between your sponsorships, your, people making hate threads or whatever, Twitch was originally made for creativity. Politics, it's hard to be creative with politics because politics is essentially at its core, it's trying to find the truth and factual information. It's not about making something. It's about, investigating. Politics is an investigation, where Twitch is supposed to be about being creative. So there's other platforms like Twitter. In all honesty, it's a promotional tool, but there's the other side of Twitter is the investigative part. So I think Twitter would be way more suited for live streaming. If like X could get together a video live streaming part of it, which we've already seen Elon's working on that. Rumble also was trying to do that, but again, here's the other thing too. It's kind of weird that Twitch, such a big part of it is politics, because something like Rumble, which is essentially, even there's leftists, there's Democrats on Rumble and everything also, it's not just Republican conservative value stuff on Rumble. But Rumble has such smaller viewership, even YouTube, it's like the viewership of, okay, so a GTA 5 or GTA 6 trailer has 10 times the amount of viewership than, or maybe even more than that, than your biggest political, like a Donald Trump versus a Kamala video or something. That goes to say something about that. Like, majority of people are not into politics. and the thing that's, you know, all the loud voices that you hear either on a Twitter or a Blue Sky or whatever, that's the minority of people at the end of the day. Like, when it comes to all this political stuff, that is 100% minority of people that are on there. It's just very loud vocal groups that are on there. Even when you watch all these like protests of everybody out on the streets and everything, they're protesting down in LA. Well, guess what? It's like 0.001% of LA showed up to protest that. But the news makes it, all the YouTubers and everything. I think Nick Shirley probably does some of the best videos because he's literally in that crowd just asking people, you know, hey, let's hear what you have to say. He's given them a voice to just, you know, say whatever they want to say onto a video. He's not even he's not even questioning it. He's just asking the question of like, oh, what's your statement? And he lets the people say and kind of make foolery of themselves. Okay, all right, that's freedom of voice or freedom of speech. Getting your voice out there and not being, you know, that's actually a balance to it. And then what do you have is you have a lot of people that go in there and they will jump into his face and everything because he tends to have the right-leaning audience on his videos and in his chat and everything. So, of course, the leftists, you know, blow a gasket, even though he's actually giving the leftists or the Democrats and the leftists a voice, which is wild. I know it's 100% wild.